Hello and welcome to Marketing 3400 Principles of Marketing here at Tennessee Tech University. My name is Matthew Harrison and I will be your instructor for this semester. I always like to make a little welcome video like this at the beginning of every semester and really just every week for you. I like for you to have some type of video that you can watch. I think it helps give more of an in-person feel to an online class and hopefully helps to answer some of your questions. So my intention for today is just to say hello and welcome you, but also just to kind of go through our syllabus and let you know how our class is going to work and hopefully answer a lot of those questions that you may have at the beginning of every class every semester. So, um, this obviously is a 100% online course. There are no face-to-face meetings in person on campus, and there are no synchronous meetings either via Zoom or anything like that. So it'll be totally asynchronous, meaning that you get to work at your own pace. Everything is open on day one for you. So if you want, you can go ahead and work all the way through to August now and go ahead and be finished. That is true for everything except for the final exam. You do have to wait to complete that during exam week. Um, Everything else, you have the ability to work at your own pace and work ahead if you would like. That being said, there are set deadlines. So if you decide that you want to do the work for week 1, 2, and 3, that's totally cool. But you can't work on week 1 and do week 1's work and then skip week 2 and in week 3 do week 2 and week 3's work. It doesn't work like that. You can work as far ahead as you want, but you do have to meet the regular deadlines. And in just a moment, I'm going to show you the tentative course calendar that outlines all the deadlines for the whole semester and hopefully answer your questions about that. Um, okay, so we'll just kind of go through here. Um, my contact information is here for you. I've listed my email address. This is the best way to get in touch with me. It is mtharrison@tntech.edu. Please do not email me through iLearn email. I still get those, but it takes me longer to respond to you via iLearn. I can't do it from my phone quite as conveniently as I can with the tech email. They're working on an iLearn app that will allow that to happen, but we don't have that yet. So I really prefer the Tennessee Tech email. So please use that if you have a question. Um, I always hated those professors in college when I would take a class and I had a question and I emailed and I got a response back like 2 weeks later. Well, that didn't help me because my assignment was due last week. So I always strive to not be one of those people and to be here and help you and respond to your emails. I always tell students to allow 24 hours before expecting a response. Usually it's less than that. I pretty much keep my phone in my hand at all times. So generally speaking, I'm very accessible and can help you on the weekends. It may be a little later on a response. I like to sleep in on Saturdays, but otherwise, I will definitely get back to you as quickly as possible. Definitely less than 24 hours. So there's my email if you need me. Okay, so the goal here with marketing is just to introduce you to the course. You may be a marketing major, you may be a marketing minor, you may just be a business student, or you may just be taking this class as an elective. So there's a whole hodgepodge of people here, and my goal for you is just that you develop a basic understanding of marketing concepts and marketing functions in a market-oriented institution. So that being said, you likely will not leave this class as a master marketer. However, this class will open many doors for you if you do enjoy marketing and you want to continue with that in your future. You'll develop a basic skill set that you'll be able to apply in the real world. You also will develop those skills that you need in order to proceed into a marketing major and learn more about marketing. So, this is the textbook that we are going to be using. It is the 6th edition of Gruhl and Levy. I've included the ISBN number for you here. People always ask me, well, Mr. Harrison, do I have to buy a real book or can I buy an ebook? And the answer is that it does not matter to me. It is totally whatever you are most comfortable with, whatever you prefer. I love to write in my textbooks, and that's horrible, but I love to write in my books. I like to make notes and highlight little things like that. So I prefer the real book, but if you are an ebook person, feel free to do that. I will make a recommendation for you, though. I always tell students to look for this book online on chegg.com, Chegg.com. We're also on Amazon. Of course, right now during the COVID crisis, shipping is kind of slow. So I'll be sending this out to you early so that you have the ability to go ahead and order that and work ahead. But anyway, on Chegg and Amazon, you can get this book for like $13. It's pretty inexpensive. Whereas In the bookstore, it may cost you an arm or a leg. So $13. Okay, so go ahead and get that book ordered for me. You will need this book. We will use it every week. I will not give you a book that you don't use. That I hated when that happened in college too. So I won't do that to you. We will use this book, so please make sure you order it. Okay, as far as how our class is set up, I want to give you just a brief overview of kind of what to expect. So I'm big on consistency. So every week you're going to be doing the same thing. You are going to read 2 chapters in the Gruel and Levy textbook. Um, there's a YouTube video for each of those chapters that I would like for you to watch, and I just kind of hit the highlights of the chapter. So uh, now, just to be clear, that YouTube video is not a substitution for reading the chapter. There's still some details in there that you'll need, but I always hit the highlights and give you an overview um, in the video. So please make sure every week you are reading the 2 chapters, then you're watching the 2 YouTube video lectures. And then you're going to take a reading quiz for each of the chapters that you've read about that week. And to help you with that reading quiz, I made some Quizlets that will help you to be able to be prepared. If you're not familiar with Quizlet, Quizlet is kind of like a virtual flashcard, and it just gives you some tidbits from the chapter that are really important, those big takeaways that you might need to know. So again, you're going to read the 2 chapters, watch the 2 YouTube videos, study the Quizlets, and then take your 2 quizzes. Once you've done that, you have some type of written response for every chapter. We have to show that this course is it meets our writing intensive requirement for accreditation purposes. So we have to show that you're writing in the class. So every assignment will have a written portion. So for example, and I alternate these in every week, but they're either going to be a marketing application response, a discussion board, or a case study. And all of these are similar in their requirements. We'll start by looking at the marketing application responses. For these assignments, you are posed a series of questions that you have to in turn answer and show that you're demonstrating some type of critical thinking. So they're not just direct questions from the book. It may ask you to actually apply what it is that you're learning. And these questions, I would like to see you, as you're writing up your response, that you use 2 key concepts. Those are the bolded words in your textbook. 2 key terms, 2 bolded words. I want to see that you're incorporating things from your book, basically. So make sure that you use 2 key terms. You also need to use 2 external sources. Now, it may have been a while since you've used an external source, but this is something that we do in the marketing department. It is a marketing department requirement. So as you are searching for external sources, I'm going to give you some help for that in just a moment, but usually these are some type of peer-reviewed journal article that you find in a database. You can go on the library's website and pull these sources out really easily. And those are used in some way to substantiate or corroborate the point that you're trying to make. So that's one type of assignment that you may have, a marketing application response where you're answering questions and including 2 key concepts and 2 external sources. Okay, you also may be asked to do a case study as your writing assignment. These are my favorite. These are really fun. You are given like a story that you have to read, more of a scenario, I should say, a real world scenario, and it poses some type of problem, and then you have to provide solutions to that problem. And again, you're incorporating 2 key concepts and 2 external sources in your write-up. And everything uses APA format. I'm going to tell you more about that in a second. And then finally, your discussion boards are kind of the same thing. You will have some questions to answer related to what you're reading or the videos that you're watching. And you have to answer those questions. You have to use your 2 key terms and your 2 external sources. And you also have to, after you've posted your initial response, you have to go through and reply to 2 of your classmates. So people always ask me, well, Mr. Harrison, when am I supposed to use sources and when am I not? So basically, everything except for the quizzes, every writing assignment that you do, you're going to include those 2 key concepts, bolded words from your book, and your 2 external sources. So should be pretty easy in that respect to remember. And I'll talk to you more about that in a second. So again, in summary, you're reading 2 chapters every week, watching your 2 YouTube video lectures. You're going to study the Quizlets a little bit until you feel ready, and then go ahead and take your 2 reading quizzes. Once you've done that, you're going to do your writing assignment for each chapter. So that's 2 assignments a week. And then at the end of the course, you have your final exam. which will take place in that last week. So that's sort of how our class will work. This is the grading scale that we use. Pretty basic there. I put on here that late assignments will be accepted, but 10 points will be deducted per day late. Guys, I know that you all have lives and you work and things happen, so I'm a pretty understanding person. That being said, the course is totally open to you on day one, so there's really no excuse for turning in late assignments. You can go ahead and work ahead if you know that in week 2 you're going to have a super busy week. Go ahead and work ahead and get that stuff done, and then you don't have to worry about it at all next week. So um, again, there really shouldn't be any reason you're turning stuff in late, but if you have an issue one week, email me. I'll work with you, okay? But don't email me at 11:58 p.m. if something's due at 11:59, please, because I will probably be asleep. But I will definitely work with you if you reach out to me early enough, and I'll be glad to help you in any way I can. Okay, so we've talked about these things, your quizzes, your marketing application responses, discussion boards, case studies, final exam. Okay, this is the important part. So I put on here grading for all submissions, and I kind of already talked about this, but I just want to reiterate. All of your writing assignments, everything except for the quizzes, you need to incorporate 2 key terms. So those are bolded words from your book, and you also need to incorporate 2 external sources, things that you found on the internet, likely from a scholarly source, or and you need to cite those using APA format. I also put on here that your documents need to be saved as a PDF. And people always ask, oh my gosh, why do I have to save these as a PDF? Well, the reason why is because iLearn is not always super friendly. If you haven't figured that out yet, iLearn can be a chore sometimes when we're turning things in. Some of us are using Dell computers or Acer computers or Chromebooks, and others are using Macs. And depending on the type of file you're using, everything from pages to a Word doc, sometimes it just doesn't always look pretty. It doesn't come out very easily. So a PDF is a source that no matter what kind of computer you're using, I will be able to open your file and read it and give you a grade. Also, the cool thing about iLearn is that if you submit it as a PDF, I don't have to physically download it on my computer. I can just pull it up on the screen and read it and type your feedback. Whereas if you submit a Word doc or that kind of stuff, I have to physically download every single paper. And I genuinely read every single thing that you submit, and I will give you feedback on every single thing that you submit. And having to download 100 files to my computer just makes it super, super slow, and it takes me forever. So if you could please do the PDF, that would really, really help me a lot. I'm going to show you how to save it as a PDF, actually. If you pull up our course here in iLearn, this is what it looks like. And if you go over here to Course Materials and click on Content on the left-hand side, it will pull up the content screen, which is magical and will help us in many ways. We're going to go here to this first tab that says General Course Information, and you can see our syllabus there. As you go down, the last thing is how to save a PDF. And if you click on the little document, notice it's saved as a PDF. So you should be able to open it. But when you click on PDF saving instructions, it shows you step by step how to save your document. So if you're using Microsoft Word or Pages or whatever, Google Docs, whatever program you're using, go to File, Save As, title your assignment whatever you want, Harrison in week 1 assignment, Harrison week 2 assignment, whatever. And tell it where you want it to save it, desktop or whatever. You're going to go down here where it says File Format, and you see this little drop-down menu. You're going to click on that, and mine just automatically defaults to Word document. You're going to click on that, and your drop-down menu will look like this. Select PDF, and then click Save, and it will go ahead and save it for you, and you can just upload it in iLearn here like you normally would. It will make both of our lives a lot easier in terms of reading your assignments and that kind of thing. So, and I won't have to email you 10 times and say, I couldn't read your file, please send me a new one. So it'll just make your life easier. Okay, so we talked about the PDF thing. Okay, to help you with the requirements every week, I know sometimes it can be a little confusing until you get used to it. So remember, every week you have to include those 2 key terms and your 2 external sources in your writing assignment, right? So I created a submission template for you, which again is here under Content, General Course Information, and it's the first thing you see here, Submission Template. Now I want to be clear, you do not have to use this, okay? This is totally optional. Just some people like to visualize it and it helps them. So I'm going to click here where it says submission template, and this is a Word doc, so I'm actually going to download it so you can type in it. And this is what it looks like. There's a spot for your name, the title of your assignment, and the date. And then as people are typing, they usually put their key term here. I don't care about the page number and all that. You don't have to put that. But just, you're typing your answer here and your key term's here. Your second key term is here. In this case, there were 2 questions. That's why there's a 1 and a 2. But key term is underlined every time you use it. And then at the end, you can see there's references and you've listed those 2 sources. So a lot of people like to start with this. It just helps you visualize it. Some people don't like it. If you don't like it, don't use it. That's okay. It's just there to help you. Here where it says submission template example, you can actually see a completed version of this assignment. And this was a discussion board that a student did, and she typed it up. And so there were 2 questions. That's why there's a 1 and a 2. And she responded with what she wanted to say here. Every time she used a key term, she underlined it. So she's used vendor managed inventory as a key term, VMI. She also used electronic data interchange. And she was an overachiever, so she used even more than 2 key terms. She threw in some others down here: limited assortment supermarket, among other things. So just every time you use a key term, just underline it. Super easy. It checks that box. For the 2 sources that you're incorporating, this is the part that students sometimes have trouble with. So remember, we're using APA formatting. If you've never used APA, I'm going to give you some tricks here. Every time you cite a source, you want to make sure you either use direct quotes, like she did here. You can see a quotation mark. Whatever is not her own words, those are inside of the quotes. And then she closed her quotes. And then she put the author's last name. And she put the page number. You don't have to put the page number. You can just put the author's last name, comma, and the year. Okay. Another way, if you don't want to do a direct quote, is you can do a paraphrase, which you see down here. She says, according to Seth and Randall, and she puts the year in parentheses. That's an APA thing. You always use the year after the author's name. And then, so according to Seth and Randall, here's the year, and blah, blah, blah. She just summarizes what they've said, and she doesn't use anything else. She just summarizes. When she uses direct words that they've used, like low-cost model, widened its brand availability, she quoted exactly what they said in quotes. So you can be creative with that, guys. It's just to make sure that you are understanding how those sources are used. And as I said, that's a marketing department requirement. All of us use those, so please make sure that you throw those in. Okay, finally at the end, she lists her references here. They're supposed to be in alphabetical order, but she forgot to do that. That's okay. So technically this guy's last name here that starts with a B that I'm not going to try to butcher should actually go first, followed by Seth, and then this last one here. So Rob Slasta. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's just there to help you if you need it. Okay, if you don't like this submission template, don't use it. Just there to help you. Again, here under general course information, if you're not quite sold on APA or you're just not feeling great about it, the Purdue OWL is going to be your best friend. It will tell you no matter what you're citing, whether it's your textbook or it's a website or it's a journal article or whatever, it will tell you exactly how to cite it. It's wonderful. It will be your best friend. Okay. The library website is where you're going to go to find most of these articles that you're searching for, most of these external sources. You're going to search those on the library website. There's also a cheat sheet here about APA if you need it. And just to get you started, I put 3 of my favorite journals that will help you. There's the Journal of Marketing, the Journal of Business Research, and then we have the American Marketing Association. Those are all great sources to find literally anything about marketing you'll be doing in this class. They're awesome sources. And then I put another sample paper down here using APA formatting just so you can see what it looks like. So that just gives you a summary. So remember, one more time, every week you're going to be reading 2 chapters in Gruel and Levy's book. You are watching the 2 YouTube video lectures. You're studying the Quizlets until you feel prepared. You're taking your 2 quizzes. After that, you're doing your 2 writing assignments. That's it. Same kind of thing every single week. Your writing assignments should always answer the question fully. They should be professional and businesslike, and you should always use 2 key terms and 2 external sources. Same thing every week. Just like that, at the end of the class, you'll have your final exam. Okay? if you are a student with a disability and you need any kind of accommodation, just let me know. I will be totally happy to accommodate you in any way that I can, do whatever I can to help you. Um, okay, I already told you this is a 100% online course. We have no meetings unless you need to meet about something, and then we will, of course. I recommend that you stay active in the class. This is a summer class, as you well know. So normally in a regular semester, like say in the fall, classes start in August and they end in December, you have 16 weeks to learn whatever you're learning. So whereas in a normal class, I tell students to plan on devoting around 8 to 10 hours a week towards the course content, since you're accelerating this, you're taking those 16 weeks and you're scrunching them into only 8 weeks in the summer, I would just double that time. So somewhere between 16 and 20 hours. Now, I hate giving a number on this because students hear 16 to 20 hours and they go, oh my God, that's so much time. It is, it's a lot of time. So I will tell you, some people don't take that long. Okay, some people read really fast and they watch the videos while they're in the car on the way to work, and then they come home and do them. Some people break it up and spend a couple of hours every day on the assignments. You will find whatever works best for you. You'll get into your rhythm. It's going to be great. But you just have to figure out whatever works for you. So for some people, it may take 16 hours. For others, it may take 20. And for some, it may take 5 or 10. So it just depends on you as an individual and how much time it will take you to read and learn and do those things. Some people are fast learners. Other people take a little more time. So that is definitely up to you. But again, it is a summer course. And there's a lot of information to be covered. So please make sure that you are staying on top of that. Okay, this is that tentative course calendar that I told you about. Something else you'll learn about me is that I hate surprises. Okay, I do not believe in surprises. If it is not on this tentative course calendar, it is not happening. Okay, so this is literally everything you have to do from now until the very end of the semester. So I recommend go ahead now. All your due dates are here on the right. It tells you everything you have to do. This is what you do for week 1. This is what you do for week 2. This is what you do for week 3. So on and so forth. Go ahead, if you have a cell phone, program all these days in your calendar. This is your deadline. If I were you, I'd break it up. Hey, I'm going to do this stuff on day 1. I'm going to do this on day 2. I'm going to do this on day 3. Break it up so it's not all overwhelming. Do not try to do it all on Sunday night at midnight. Okay? Yes, everything is due for week 1 on Sunday at midnight. Everything is due for week 2 on Sunday at midnight. That never changes. Technically, it's not midnight. It's 11:59 p.m. Please, please, please do not wait until Sunday to crack open your book and start reading and watch the YouTube video lectures and try to take the quizzes. You will not learn as much. It will not be a good experience. Please do not do that. Space out your time. You will be thankful that you did it. You will learn more and you will be way less stressed out if you just space it out and do a little bit every day. Okay? So for example, for this first week, you're going to be reading the syllabus. You can go ahead and check that off. If you have watched this video and made it all the way to the end, congrats, you have completed that requirement. Okay, you should be reading chapters 1 and chapter 5 in your textbook, chapters 1 and 5. Read both of those. Watch the YouTube video lectures, for chapters 1 and 5. If you're wondering where you find those lectures, here again under course materials and content, you can scroll down to week 1. And this is all there for you. Your 2 lectures are right here. Chapter 1 video lecture, Chapter 5 video lecture. The Quizlets are here. Chapter 1 Quizlet, Chapter 5 Quizlet. And then all the assignments you have due for the week are listed here as well under assignments due this week. Okay, so again, reading the syllabus, reading chapters 1 and 5. You're watching the YouTube video lectures. And then there's 2 additional videos here that are very short, like 5 minutes. For you to watch just to give you an intro to the 4 Ps, which is what our class is all about for the rest of the semester, and the marketing environment, which is what you're talking about this week in your discussion. Okay, so make sure you've read those things, watch those things. Once you're ready, make sure you've ordered the textbook. Hopefully you've already done that. There's a syllabus quiz about all the things we talked about. It's going to ask you very basic questions like, hey, what should my assignments, my writing assignments include every week? And option A is going to be like the answer, which is true. Option B is going to be like 2 external sources. Option C is going to be like 2 key terms. And option D is going to be all the above. And you're going to say all the above, right? Because you watched the video and you know that. So, okay, read those things, take the syllabus quiz. There's a pretest here for you to do too. Guys, this is totally just for me. It is a completion grade. Do not freak out. iLearn is going to give you a grade. Okay, so that means you're going to take it, and if you get a 5 out of 100, it's going to show up immediately that you got a 5 out of 100 in the grade book. Do not hyperventilate. Don't get out the paper bag and start breathing heavily yet. Okay. I will update that at the end of the week once everybody's had a chance to give the pretest a try. I will go through and update your grade for that. So don't stress. Okay. It isn't, like I said, iLearn is going to give you a grade, but I will update it to a 100 if you did it. Okay. It's just a completion grade. This is just for me to see what you know about marketing. Some people took marketing in high school. They already have a ton of knowledge, or they studied marketing in a community college, and they're like, yeah, I'm ready to go. This is easy. And other people are like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what any of this means. And that's okay. Everybody's at a different place, and I just want to see where you are. Okay, so these things will take like 5 minutes. Do the syllabus quiz, do your pretest, not a big deal. The introductory discussion board is just an opportunity for you to introduce yourself to our class and let us get to know you. So tell us what your major is, tell us what you're studying. Are you a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior? What do you want to do with your life when you graduate? Do you have a job now? What do you do? Just tell us about yourself and talk to each other, get to know each other. It's just a fun thing. Once you are ready and you've read chapter 1 and 5 and watched the YouTube videos and you've studied the Quizlets, go ahead and take your quizzes for chapters 1 and 5. And then you have only one written assignment this week. I wanted to go light on you since you have so many other things going on. You're reading all this. So you only have one assignment, which is a discussion board. So again, you'll answer the questions, include 2 chapter concepts and 2 key terms, and you'll upload that to the discussion board. All of this stuff is due on Sunday, June 7th at 11:59 p.m. Central Time, because that's where tech is located. So if you're in a different time zone, make sure you know it's Central Time. Okay. Please, again, don't wait until Sunday to do this. Go ahead and get started. If you're feeling eager, if you're an eager beaver and you want to go ahead and work ahead, go ahead and do that. Here is week 2. You can go ahead and see what you're supposed to read. It's open for you here as well under course materials and content. You can see week 1. Go ahead and click on week 2. If you get that done, boom, go ahead and move on to week 3. You can work ahead, okay? That being said, I would encourage you this first week just to kind of chill, get your feedback from week 1, and see how you do. Make sure you're doing everything correctly before you plunge through all of it, okay? But definitely get started there with that. Regarding feedback, guys, I always swore that when I started teaching, I've always wanted to be a teacher, but I swore when I started teaching that I would not be one of those professors that you don't get feedback for like a month and you have no idea what your grade is in the class and it's time for finals and you're like, gosh, I haven't even gotten a single assignment back. Like, I will not be one of those people, okay? I will grade things for you within 1 week. So, for example, week 1, everything is due on June the 7th. That's Sunday at 11:59. I will grade your assignments probably on June 8th, probably that Monday, maybe June 9th. Sometime this week during week 2, you're going to get all your assignments from week 1 back, and they're all going to have grades, okay? So you can see how you're doing and what you're doing well and what you need to work on and that kind of thing before you work ahead. Okay, so guys, as I said, I'm pretty easy to get along with. I'm very, very happy to help you in any way. My email is here, mtharrison@tntech.edu. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. And again, if you're ever unsure of what's due, it's also listed for you here under the announcements on iLearn, which are also emailed out to you every week. So anyway, I'll shut up now. Have a great day, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.